You talked about how you plan to fix the congestion issues. Ayalolo is a very important tool you could have deployed, so it prevents cars from coming into the central business district. And yet, we have over 20 of them parked at your depot at Adenta. Some are parked at Achimota. They are not moving around. Why?
Well, they are moving, but they are moving at scheduled times because 2017, 2018, when we deployed them from morning to evening, afternoon, we realized that we're making huge losses. So we redesigned their model and started working at peak time. So when you go there in the afternoon, most of them are parked. Okay. So they do peak time in the morning and peak time in the evening. And they do some shuttle in the afternoon. Limited buses do shuttle in the afternoon. So that's what we are doing, just to cut the losses. Unless central government is willing to put in a lot more money and consider it as a social service, and then we can say that, okay, let us get more buses, deploy them, and then by so doing, you are also getting the trotters also out of the way.
How about Okada? You think that despite the challenges we talk about, where there are poor roads in some parts of Greater Accra, and because you are mayor of Accra, I want to just give you that luxury to go all the way to Amasaman and have power. Someone who wants to move from Amasaman main road into some village is a motorbike that can take them. They need a bike. Someone who is coming to Accra Central Business District, they are coming from, say, Achimota, the traffic is too much, they want to hop onto an Okada. Convince them why they should not do that.
Well, let me tell you something. Globally, the 8 cause of death is through road accidents. And in this country, the National Road Safety Authority report that from 2016 to 2017, motorcycle death has increased from 16% to 28%. No, from 21% to 28%. That tells you the number of people that die on the road all the time. And it's very important for us to appreciate the matter from the safety perspective. It is totally unsafe for you to use motorbike or three-wheeler for commercial purposes. And it is that wisdom that informed the enactment of the LI 2180 Road Traffic Regulation 2012 that prohibits the use of motorcycle for commercial purposes. Now, there's an argument that it provides employment and it's for convenience, which I've heard. And all those arguments are correct and they are right. But the end of the game is that people are dying as a result of it. So instead of urging on government to make sure that the road infrastructure that we are providing, make sure that it takes care of the all modes of transport, the argument is shifted to a certain political means that people want to win out of the 2020 campaign and election to push for Okada. Certainly, there are a lot of people that have gained in it. Let me give you a scenario in Lagos. Just one. Lagos, the whole of Lagos, they were using Okada, but they realized that the casualties on the road was becoming too much and unbearable. And for that matter, they revise it and make sure that all highways and major roads, no motorbike is allowed to drive on them. And that has reduced the fatalities on that stretch by 33%. So we should be very mindful of some of these decisions that we are taking. I am not in favor of it unless we have decided that we are providing the infrastructure and the safety net to deal with it. Or else you are pushing people just to go and die.
Talking about congestion in the central business, in 2012, my attention was drawn to an AMA bylaw that forbids passengers from buying from hawkers and hawkers selling to passengers on board a trotro. I don't know if it's still holding.
It is.
There was a bylaw also that obligates trotro owners to have waste baskets in their cars.
Yes.
Is that still a law that's in your books?
Yes.
You're not enforcing it?
Well, I must admit that some of the things have been a bit relaxed simply because during my transition period and the creation of municipalities, how to look at urban transport in totality, because the Accra as a whole is not managed by only Mike itself. When you move here, you have Clotte-Kole, you have Ayawaso West, you have all this. And there's a need for us to have an urban transport plan that will have overriding authority on all of us, because transportation is cross-jurisdictional. When people board trotro from here, by 5 minutes, they move into another municipal assembly. Another 2 minutes, they move into another municipal assembly. So that has not helped us.
But that should not prevent you from checking people. You have Citi guard checking people at the trotro station whether they have a waste bin on board.
And
or
I'm
not.
saying that is not quite helpful, because the trotros move from one area to area. They are not moving within your jurisdiction.
Yeah, so you say that
total control.
Yeah, so you say that every trotro coming from Wager, you can be free in Wager, but if you enter AMA, you don't have a waste basket.
You are looking at Accra as a whole, and as much as the bylaw now is restricted to AMA, certain policy decisions, you must be mindful of its implications, that it should cover the whole of Accra, else you will be very discriminatory in the implementation.
So go to the coordinating council and make a strong case for
that's why. That's the case I have made, that something like transport, it's cross-jurisdictional.
So you should work.
Sanitation is cross-jurisdictional. These are things that are cross-jurisdictional. Fortunately, under the Greater Accra Resilience Integrated Project, there's a fourth arm of it, which is seeking to create a development authority, and a development authority that will look at the development of the whole of Accra. I'm quite hopeful, as the Ministry of Local Government is working on it, it comes into fruition early, because that will help all of us, those who are working within the urban space, to know that this is the position that all of us are going, so that your interventions may not sound discriminatory.
In 2016, you promised Kayaye headquarters in Accra that you provide them with hostel facilities. Yesterday, I saw a story somewhere where there was a group of Kayayes in Ashanti region in Kumasi, who said that the hostels have not been provided, so they are going to join NDC and vote for NDC. In Accra, have you built hostels for Kayaye?
Well, I've not heard about the Kayaye that claim that they are going to do that, but that's their right. You know, one thing that I have to make it very clear is that there were a list of promises that we made, and we cannot pick one out of the many and say that we haven't done well. So, on the issue about Kayaye, the support that you've been giving them, what are the other support that you've been giving them?
Because we don't have a lot of time, in Accra, have you built a single hostel for Kayaye?
Not yet.
When will you do that?
Not yet. What we wanted to do was to provide them a hostel facility in the old Fadaba, because Kayaye, as you note the way they are, you may see them wandering around Accra, but when they finish, they go back to the old Fadama where they are.
So
if
when
you move them,
you...
hang on a bit. If you move them out of their comfort zone, they will never go. There have been a lot of people, a lot of them that has been provided with skill development, even support fund in terms of loan, and some of them even offered to go to school. If you don't connect them to the old Fadama community, it will be practically difficult for you to achieve your goal. We had land problems over there, and that delayed the construction.